Okay, assalamu alaikum warahmatullah, dear students. Hope you are doing great, inshallah. Today we are about to start chapter 10, which is about human resource management. So, human resource management is a very crucial topic for us to understand, and for the entrepreneurs and for the startups, it's very crucial because you have to have the right kind of people on board or on the bus. So, if you do not have the right kind of people on the bus, then you might face problems down the line, and people might be leaving your company, and you'll be struggling with lots of things. So first thing is you should have the right kind of mindset. Individuals coming together and then hiring the right people. They will do the job for you. Today's learning objectives are: one, explain the elements of human resource management, and then discuss the process of hiring employees, analyze the means of retaining employees, why retaining employees is very crucial, and then determine the pertinent aspects of employee performance, management, and termination. And last but not least, understand broad coverages that regulations and laws pertaining to human resource management. Okay, so what is human resource management? It is defined in economics, the quantity and quality of human efforts directed toward producing goods and services. So it involves hiring employees, retaining employees, and then dealing with difficult employees. So the concept of human resources is basically defined from this concept, resources. Earlier, we used to have administrative departments in the companies, and they used to have admin people or administrators. So their job was to uh, implement strict rules and treat employees like control employees. But later on, the companies have realized that it's the human being that makes the difference. So as we say, it's not the gun that matters, it's the person behind the gun that is matter. So uh, the companies, they realize that human beings are the real resource in any company. Normally, a company have like many different kind of resources. They might have a building, they might have machinery, cars. So these all can be resources, but the whole efforts and treating human being as a resource is a new concept in this administrative sciences. Why it is can be very tricky? Because it's very difficult to control and motivate individuals. You can control the machine. Machine controlling is not very difficult, but managing employees is very difficult or technical job. So, in order to understand the human resource management, there's like some concepts that we must be familiar with. One is job description, job advertisement, and then preventing discrimination, job interviews, testing, and job offer. So, the last step in all this process is the job offer to the right kind of candidates. They fulfill the job. Okay, so retaining employees when we hire them, or we can just explain these. Job description is like we describe the nature of the job. So when we want to put it in the advertisement, we program what is the job nature, what are the roles and responsibility of the individual. And then we put it in the like early ages, we used to put it in the newspapers. Now you will see it on the company's website. They advertise jobs. They advertise jobs on LinkedIn and other portals as well. Preventing discrimination means by law one cannot discriminate certain kind of race or people, and during job interviews This is a human-to-human interaction. So when a person fills in a survey job application form, submit it to the company reviews the form, shortlists the candidates. But ultimately, interview is the one-to-one interaction. And nowadays, these interviews can be conducted online as well. But this is the human-to-human interaction, and we try to learn that if the person has got the right kind of attitude and skills for the job. So whatever he has given in the CV or resume matches with his personality. You might conduct certain tests, and these tests can be prior to the interviews or prior to the final interview. And if he or she qualifies the test, then at the last, after conducting the final interview, we may offer them the job. And that will also be negotiated on the basis of the salaries and other things. Okay, retaining employees is a very crucial dimension, because when we hire the employees, we give them trainings and we develop them. And the employees, they have a liberty, they can just leave any time. So it's crucial for the company to make sure that their best employees are retained, they don't leave the company, because if they leave the company, it's going to be a very uphill job to hire and new employees and make them trained and then to bring to the level that these employees will go. So for that, the company introduces compensation and benefit systems, wages and hour requirements, and performance reviews. Dealing with the difficult employees is like how we conduct the performance management, how we terminate the employees if the employees are not up to the standard or the requirements of the unit or the company. Okay, so the importance of hiring is like if a large organization has 1,000 employees, and if we have one problematic employee, so it means like we've got 0.5% of the workforce is like problematic. In a small entrepreneurship, like your startup system, if you got like 5 employees and one of the employees is problematic, so it means 20% of the workforce is problematic. That's a huge, so it might demotivate the other 4 people working in the company. So that's why, as I told you, you should be having the right people on the bus. They are passionate enough, because when we are talking about small startups, there can be many days in which you will not be able to pay them the salaries, or probably you'll also not be drawing anything, and you'll be uh, self-funding, and there will be no luxuries, no cars, no big foods. So all these companies are established over the life period of time. So in this situation, when you're already down, because the entrepreneurial journey is not like a straight journey, it's full of bumpy, it's like full of highs and lows. And one good morning, you can get this success. So that's why hiring is very crucial in this whole process. So the hiring process, if you pro implies, has a triple impact on the entrepreneurial firms. So if we have like we hire the wrong people, it's like honest time is lost. You spend so much time on hiring and shortlisting. Firms does not fully benefit from the employees. So if we spend like 5 days to hire an individual, then we train him for 20 days, and then he leaves it, like we are down like 30 days. Then we were hiring like for 5 days, and like if we are back from our schedule, so problems may affect other employees as well, and they may demotivate them. So it involves a series of deliberate steps. So a hiring process starts with job description, as I already discussed, in which you describe the nature of the job, and any advertisement you'll see on the any posting You see the job description has to be there. Then you do a job advertising. You put it on the right kind of portals or where you can see the most potential employees. So you can do on the campus hiring, you can do it online, you can do it on professional websites, the company's hiring profiles. So then you do the interview, and after conducting interview, you might get the test. Sometimes they can be medical test or aptitude test, and then at the end, you might offer them the job. Job description basically is like documents that describes the job that is to be filled. It is required for all positions, even though if you are hiring for the CEO or if you are hiring for the clerical position or the security guard. It ensures that all dimensions of the jobs are considered and written, shares information with the potential employees, and they can understand their roles and responsibility from this, forces the business owner to consider changes as the firm grows. So sometimes initially when you start the business, you might go with a person who might be doing three different jobs, but when the system grows up and becomes mature, you need a dedicated person for each position. For example, in a small company, you might hire a clerk who might be doing the job of the like a sweeper, and he will be also cooking and giving you like tea something, and it also goes and posts the letters. But later on, when you've got a big company, so you might hire a dedicated staff, like the sweeper is permanent, and then we have a clerical staff that is permanent, then we might have a receptionist that is a permanent staff member, and then you can dedicate a full-time person who will go and collect the bills and can deliver the post to the other companies or the post office. So it should be clearer for virtual employees, because in virtual employees it's very difficult to have a control, and how would you understand like if they are performing, if they are dedicated, honest with the company. So it has to be a great job description where you'll explain each and every role and responsibility. Job advertising is an entrepreneur's need to try to attract the largest pool of applicant possible. So largest pool of applicants, but not all the applicants. The applicants, they are potential. The applicant, they are relevant. So there are two jobs. One is like maximum applicants, and the other one are the most relevant applicants. So our purpose is not to collect CVs and they which are not relevant to our demands. For example, if we put an advertisement in the newspaper that we need uh, engineers for this post, so if there are 50 engineers, they will all apply for the job. But if you put like we need civil engineer, then out of 50, if there are 10 engineers, they will apply for the job. Then we say civil engineering with like 5 years of work experience. So probably 2, 3 individuals will apply, and they are the most suitable candidate for the job. So our job is to minimize, say, uh, from the applicants to the most relevant applicant. So yes, we can put it in the college placement offices, trade associations and professional association, employment agencies, online job posting. We can also conduct career fairs and employment agencies, online job posting. We can also conduct career fairs, and we can be posting on the discussion boards where people with the specific skills set or virtual visit if business is virtual. Okay, so expensive means to look at. So when we are putting a job advertisement in say a newspaper, they can be expensive to look at potential employees. is a classic help wanted ad on the job placement website. So it varies widely in cost and ability to reach the desired audience. So there are certain companies, they just keep the job open until they hire the most suitable candidate for the job. For unique skills requirements outside of the companies that recruit and place an employee for entrepreneurs can be considered. Service can be expensive in this method when you are going for experts helping you to get these relevant employees. So how we can write the advertisement? Entrepreneurs should keep it concise and oriented toward the basic information needed for the potential applicant to evaluate their qualifications. So don't make it too complicated. Make it distinct so that it can draw the attention of the potential customers or employees. Write the ad to sell the job and business honesty. So it's a marketing tactics, how you present the ad, where the ad is going to be appearing. Ask for a resume and a short list of references. Establish a deadline for application. Okay. So when you set a deadline, the people try to meet the deadlines and don't ex accept application of the deadline. Okay, what is discrimination? In the workplace hiring, dismissing settling levels of pay or basing promotions on factors that include but not limited to race, color, gender, religious beliefs, or national origin of the employee. So that is called discrimination. Such actions are prohibited by federal and state law. I remember that when I went to UK in 2004, we heard a case, and I think it was February 2004, that there was a female that was terminated job from KFC, and she was a Muslim. She was putting on an abaya, and KFC they terminated her from the job. And then she went to the court, and court issued a decision in her favor, and KFC had to give her the job and paid the compensation. So that's why it's very important that you're not discriminating someone on the basis of their religious beliefs, on the gender, or national origin. So the concept is that it's everybody's right as an individual. Until and unless there is a job that is very specific to the individuals. For example, if you need a cook that is going to make foods which are like Indian foods and Bihari foods, okay, for instance, as an example. So you will definitely go and hire a cook that can cook Bihari foods. So ultimately, you'll have to hire a Indian chef or cook. Otherwise, in certain countries, you have to give preference to the locals. So, but in these cases, you can discriminate. Similarly, if you need someone who is a translator, you need a translator for Urdu. So probably you might hire someone from, say, Pakistan, who will help you to uh, translate for you. Okay, so job descriptions and job advertisement must be written in a non-discriminatory manners. And this can create lots of issues if you write in a discriminatory manner in which you are mentioning, says, if you mention that people of this religion should not apply for the job, so that will create lots of chaos for the company. So terms such as salesman, saleswoman, handyman, handywoman, young or counter girl should be avoided. So here these are explaining like what we are looking for. We are looking for salesman, we are looking for saleswoman, handyman or handywoman. So configure. So these terms should be avoided and should be using generic kind of words. Advertising widely and using a job description helps ensure that all individuals are judged on the same basis. But yes, we know that in between these, there can be some people, they can be biased, but you cannot be technically wrong, and especially with the writings. So we have seen some biasness among the recruiters, but they will not speak it out, they will not write it down. Technically, they will not be caught. So information required in a job application, you can ask about the name, address, phone numbers, email addresses, address for the past 3 years, social security number. This is in America. Here in Kingdom, you might ask for a common number, driver license number, work history, a date available for work positions for which the candidate is applying. Actually, when you're hiring on lots of different positions, it will be very confusing for you to understand who has applied for which position. So this is a small thing, but it matters a lot. How the person heard about the job. Why this question is important? It will help us to learn like which is the right medium through which we can reach out to our potential applicants. So in future, if we are hiring, say they have reached us through LinkedIn, so we'll be putting more advertisement on the LinkedIn with little cost. Professional organization membership, they tell us their professional qualifications and conviction record and it details if any. So obviously one should be very careful to be hiring criminals. So if somebody has a conviction, then they have to disclose it and you'll have to find out what was the real cause. Citizenship information and then the references. These are crucial information they mostly asked. In the interviews, applicants that best fit the job description are invited for the interview. You should not be discriminating them on the basis of age, race, disability, gender, national origin, religion, or creed, or so on. So if people feel like you have discriminated them, they go to the court. So that's why you have to show a neutrality, you have to show unbiasedness. Interview discussion must be based on the needs of the job, not they should not be personal and other thing. And they should be realistic preview of the job and company should be provided to the interview so that they hold realistic expectation with the company. So after when you conduct the final interview, then there is a certain medical test that are done. One is the drug testing, which is more common in investigating. It's an interesting question. What about Colorado or Washington, where marijuana is legal? So testing candidates on the basic requirements of a position may be as simple as a basic math test to eligible for an interview. So it will tell us like how much candidate feels or understands the basics about the drugs. Many firms conduct personality testing or work behavior testing. And then when you do this medical test, then we might go for offer, which means the job offer. So we will extend it to the top candidates. Like it depends, like if you are hiring the top five or top two or top one or top 30. So you offer once an offer if is agreed, it should be put in writing by the founder, signed and given to the candidate. So you get two copies printed out, you get one signed copy keeping with yourself and one copy to the candidate. It is considered closing with the signed original. The offer letter is returned by the candidate. Means of retaining employees. The entrepreneurship business needs to retain those employees that perform well and add value to the firm. So this is a crucial. Like you'll not like people to be coming to your organization, spending a lot of time for your hiring, and then taking it, making it as a pedestal to jump to another opportunity. So companies try to retain their best employees. They will try to offer them good lucrative incentives so they can offer them compensations and benefit, and then they can have methods and means by which they will be reviewing the performance. Compensations are basically going to be a hot topic among employees, which makes equitable treatment of employees' best interest. So, are there ever instances in which paying two employees a different amount for the same job experiences might be justified? So the question is, if the two employees doing the same job, but one is being paid higher and the other one is being paid low. Mhm. How would you justify? And if you cannot justify, the employees will be not motivated and they will leave the company. But if there's some prefixed targets that were given to them and they know like why person X is being paid higher than the customer Y, so they should know it. What is the reason? Say if they are the faculty, they are both hired for teaching. So one of them has published one paper, the another one has published 15 papers, and he has honorarium and recognitions. So the other faculty members should know like why he has earned this honorarium, because he has been very active in research. In building the compensation system, like the reward system, the entrepreneur needs to maintain a fair and equitable system for all the employees, both now and for future. Here we are using the term equitable. It is from the equity theory. It suggests that all judge how we are treated relatively to when we see the other. So equitable or equity theory works like a person, he or she, like imagine this is you and you have been rewarded, say, I'm just trying to make $1. You are rewarded 5,000 won. And now you compare yourself with other people, how the company has paid them. So similar employees like you, some you have 7 years of experience, they have like 5 years of experience, 8 years of experience in the same department. So you did one thing, they pay you like 1,000 real, and they pay another employee like 5,000 real for the same activity. And for the same activity, they pay like 7,000 real for the same activity to a third person. So you will feel that they did not do a justice with you. You are not fairly treated. So these things, even though you have your rationale, you know why you given this extra incentive to this member. Probably he was a good researcher and he has met. So whatever the target was, that has to be written, and so that this person should know what is the reason that he is paid extra. So in this the equity theory, we are evaluating comparable employees. It's a systematic review of employees, including how they performed relatively to the objectives, plans for future employees' growth through experience and training, defined objectives for the next year, and then pay rise being awarded. So we can use as hourly wages, like amount paid per hour for work performed. And this is for the low wage employees, especially the workers, labor workers. Salary, which is a set of amount of compensation for a given time period, and normally wages are given at the end of the week or wages are given at the end of your quarterly. Salaries are being paid after a month. So compensation is basically the payments by entrepreneurs some percentage of the sales, typically associated with the compensation of the sales of representative. So we can go for a hybrid compensation system. Commission is paid in addition to a basic salary. So provided if he or she achieves the targets. Other compensation offers the options they like profit sharing. So if we have good employees, we might share this concept with them, in which firm may set some relatively low salary levels but shares a percentage of the profit at the end of the year or some other period or time with the employee. So it's an example of a hybrid compensation system, and it will create more loyalty with the employees when they will get shares of the company in which they are working. So this will increase their affiliation with the company. We can also offer them bonuses. These are the rewards offered to employees based on their performance. They are similar to some profit sharing. Other benefits can include paid vacations and holidays. Like in kingdoms, they can give you like 2 months of a paid holidays, and they will pay you the salary, and they will like you to go and see your family and friends. 401k plans are basically like provident funds and other funds in which say like a few portion of the fund comes from the employee, and then few portion comes from the company, and then they add it up and then they put it in the bank. They get the profits, and they also give back the money to the donor or the employee. So we can have medical cares, uh, like you can have a medical cares like small hospitals or clinic at the workplace. You can have retirement plans, sick leave plans, life insurance. So these are the different benefits that companies can offer. So benefits impact of various costs to the entrepreneur business compared to the large business cannot be overestimated. So we know that a business with young and emerging, these benefits will cost you too much. So this is a serious concern. So health insurance can be a competitive disadvantage for some companies. Like uh, for health insurance, if you have a large number of employees, you can get good packages. If you have small number of employees, then you might not get the full packages, so it can be very expensive for entrepreneurial business pay more per employee for health insurance than large firms. And 401 Roth 401 programs are offered by an employer so that employees can contribute to their retirement on a tax-free basis. So both these programs, they provide you tax-free basis. So what basically employee is doing, it is contributing a fixed amount from his monthly salary, and at the end of his service, 25 years, they get a handsome amount of money or benefits. Okay, so performance is very important. We have to understand what is performance so that we can give incentive to the right kind of individuals. So we must review by entrepreneurial business owner, by employees' goal and outcome for the same period of time. Workers are motivated by more than salary. Sometimes they feel like I'm accomplishing something, so salary is not the ultimate motivator. So employees must know exactly how their performances compare to expectations, and setting of goals for employees is central to any review. Permanent aspects of employee performance management and termination. So entrepreneur can hire and terminate employees, but firing requires legitimate, well-documented reason. So you cannot say I don't need you from tomorrow onward and don't come to the office. but it has to be a very legal process that you have to follow. The employees should be provided with the opportunity for improvement. Papers trail needs to be developed. So, like if some employee is coming late to the office, first you will give them a verbal warning, then you probably follow up with another verbal warning, and you will write it down with yourself that on day, so say 5th of January 2024, the employee was late, and so we gave him for first verbal warning. Then he was late on 26th of January 2024, we gave him another verbal warning. Then you can give them some counseling session. Then you can follow up with some written warning, and then you can give them another written warning. Then you can give them like notice period. And if they are not correcting this, then you can fire them. So you cannot fire the employees right away. Like, okay, don't come from tomorrow onward. That will create lots of issues for you as a business. I remember like one of our uh, colleague who was working on some gas station in UK during 2004-5, and the owner of the gas station or petrol pump, he just said, "Okay, I fired you. Don't come from tomorrow." So this person goes to the court, tells the judge that he has fired me without any proper reason. The judge asked him, "Why did you fire him?" He said, "I ordered him. He did not listen to me." So just got pissed off. He said, "Like you cannot order people. They are not your servants." So he penalized himself 15,000 pound, and he asked him to reinstate on his position. Okay, entrepreneurs should ensure the employees sign a non-compete agreement or non-disclosure agreement upon initial hiring. So they might, if they come to the business, they understand the business, but they will not compete and they will not start the same business. And they will also not share the information of the business to other employees, other businesses. So agreement may be proved to be critical document upon dismissal. So this agreement which you do not give enough importance at the time of signing, but this can be very crucial when you are like leaving the company. So one should read each and every term very carefully for the contract. Okay, so there are some laws they cover compensations. Like all entrepreneurs must be concerned with the series of issues, but may be impacted differently by these broad coverage laws, like workers' compensation law in America, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration or OSHA, Unemployment Compensation in American with Disabilities Act, which is called ADA. So one should have a little bit understanding of these. Workers' compensations are basically the laws designed to show that employees who are disabled or injured while on the job are provided with some type of compensation. So workers' compensation insurance is regulated by the state and costs differ by different states. Benefits to the employees are limited to partial wage replacement and medical bills, and employees cannot sue for the injury after receiving workers' compensation payments. Okay. And this is tricky, you see, that if they will get the compensation, they cannot sue the case in the court. But if they do not get the compensation and they want to go to the court and try to make the company responsible for the injury, then there are chances you might get good compensation, but it depends how you pursue the case. Okay. Unemployment compensation, like financial assistance for some period of time to those people who have lost their job through no fault of their own. For example, you are having like bad economic year and you have to fire some employees, so you'll have to compensate them. Provided in every state by the law, like in America, this law can differ from state to state. Person receiving payments must look for a job. It's not like that you are an American national and you should go for the unemployment alignment compensations. So tax varies by state to state and experiences rating of the company. What are the unique aspects of human resource with a family business? Like when we are talking about family businesses, hiring practices, the person is just hired informally. So this does not eliminate issues of discriminatory if the firm is large. The managing family members can be difficult. Businesses and human resources have more in common with family counseling than they do with the legislative methods. So it's tricky HR issues in succession, especially who is the next generation becomes the leader of the business. So that can be an issue for the generational business. Okay, so this is it for human resource management. Today's lesson from famous entrepreneur. We have with us Larry Page, which is an American entrepreneur who co-founded Google with Sergey Brin back in 1997, September 15th. Always deliver more than expected. This is the motto that Larry Page follow, and he advises the invention and marketing are the long keys to success. These are just the review questions for today's topic. What means would you suggest to improve the process of hiring the right people for a new job, a new business? What elements should a good job description contain? And what are the various ways to advertise a job opening? This is the reference. We have been following Bamford and Burton 2022 Entrepreneurship, the art, science, and process for success. Fourth edition, McGraw-Hill. Okay, folks, we can stop here. If you have any questions, you are welcome. McGraw-Hill. Okay, folks, we can stop here. If you have any questions, you are welcome to ask.